Hello, welcome to We Are Crafted in His Image. I am back today with another Fun Fold Friday, and we are going to make this cute little mug that is big enough to fit a hot cocoa packet, a candy cane, some marshmallows, and there's even room in here if you can get some biscotti, little individual one, have it wrapped in a little bag like this and stick it down in there. Yeah, so thought this would be a great little gift to do for the holidays, and let's go ahead and get started. It's not too hard to do. I've already got our paper cut. I have some prep work already done ahead of time. This is a half sheet of paper, so it is 5.5 by 8.5, and we're gonna do some scoring really quick. Let me get, and then this is 1/2 inch by 11 inch. It's actually just an offcut from working on another project, and that's gonna be our handle. But we need to pull in our cutter. And on this, you're going to score along the long edge. You're going to go 2 inches, actually along the short edge, you're going to go 2 inches in. So I'm going to go right here and I'm going to score 2 inches all the way across on this one. Then what I'm going to do, and I'm going to need to pull this out. I actually should turn it the other way so it's closer to me so I can see better, but I'm going to try and do it this way. At the 2 inch mark again, going across the long edge, we're going to do score, but we're only going to score from here to the score line we've already made. So let's see if I can do that without getting my head in the way. There we go. And now I'm going to move over to the 4 inch mark. Six inch mark. And the last one is going to be the 8 inch mark. And while I have it here, I'm just going to use a pencil and I'm just going to lightly mark right there, just because it's already here. It's easy for me to mark it for myself. And there is our scoring. Now we got to do a little bit of fussy cutting. I like to cut on the flaps, cut off just a little bit of the edge, and when I go up on these score lines, I'm going to, and I actually could have used my cutter to cut this rather than the scoring tool. Might have been a little easier, but I do like to cut off just that little bit extra of the flap. So it's a really long skinny triangle that I'm cutting out of there. I'll do the same thing here. But you totally could have used the cutter blade instead of the scoring blade for this, since that's all you're doing down here at the bottom is cutting it. And then we're going to cut this piece completely off. And again, going on an angle slightly. And then up here, that little mark that I made with the pencil, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut just so slightly off. Oops, I did not hold that correctly. There we go. Alright, cutting is done. Now we're just going to do a little bit of stamping and decorating. I have already mounted the gingerbread frosting stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on here. I use some real red. Why not? Ink that up all the way. I'm actually going to turn this towards me so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm just going to put this right across the top. Sorry if my head's in the way. I want to make sure it's straight. There we go, and then I'm going to do another. Try to line up those ends. There we go. And you know what? I'm going to try and get just a little bit more on this end that I missed. There we go. Alright, let me go ahead and clean this because I used the red ink. It will stain your stamp pad, or your ink, your stamp. It'll stain the photopolymer. I can't talk today. Oh my word. Let me get this cleaned off here. Try to get as much of that ink off of there as possible, as quickly as possible. So the front of your mug is this panel right here. That way the seam is going to be in the back area. So this is a panel here, and I'm simply going to glue a snowflake gingerbread cookie right there in the middle. And I think I'm going to use dimensionals just to make it more fun. I have some of our little dimensionals here. I'm going to pop one in each of the corners. Come on. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I got a half of one stuck on there. Put a half one there. And then one in the middle. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. Didn't grab a hold of that very well. My trash cup over here. My church is doing a fundraiser middle of this month, end of this month, and one of the things we're going to make is a bunch of these little mugs and sell them with some hot chocolate and goodies inside them. We have a lady at church that makes some wonderful biscotti, and so she hopefully will be able to make some to go inside our little mugs. I thought that would be kind of cool. So there we go. We're going to put that on. That's ready to go. So now this is just a matter of assembling. I'm going to go ahead and fold up my flaps. And I'm going to use some tear and tape. So let me get this. And I'm going to run the tear and tape right along this corner here up to the pencil mark. There we go. And then I'm going to need some tear and tape on that flap. The flap that is the front, I'm going to put a little bit of tear and tape on that bottom edge right there. Okay, time to assemble. And I'm going to use my finger and kind of, I should have probably done this before I stuck that gingerbread on there. Just kind of curve this top part, make it go around a little bit easier. And pull off the backing. And then what you want to do is wrap it around and line up that edge with your tear and tape. And that's part of the reason I put that pencil mark there, is so that I know exactly where I need the edge of this top part to go and that part to go. And you're trying to do it without getting a crease on this top section, trying to keep it as round as you can. And then I like to put it down with my, get my hand in there and kind of really burnish that down. If I need to, I can grab my bone folder and go in there and burnish that down. Round it out. So here's your front. So your sides go in first. And what you may want to do is just put a little bit of glue on that flap to hold it down. That one and this one. Then your back. And then peel your backing off and lay down the front. And then put this in here, push that down where you put the glue on. There we go. So there's that. Now we need a handle. And the one thing that I have forgotten to do, I've done this a couple of times, and each time I forget to do it, is you want to take your bone folder and, oh, first before I do that, I added some tear and tape. On this end here, it's about 3 inches in. On this end, it's 3.5 inches in. So there's that. This middle section though, you want to kind of break the fibers and let it curl. Curl it with your bone folder like that, okay? If you don't do that ahead of time, what happens is when you go to do it, you end up with lines and creases. Which you don't want. It's better if it can be nice and curved like this. So that bone folder will help prevent this from happening. Okay? Then we're going to take and peel off the side that is 3.5 inches of tear and tape. Peel that off. And my handle's going to go on this side. So basically in the middle. And again, get your bone folder down in there, press it down nice and hard, make sure it's burnished really well. Okay, and then peel the backing off of this side. And then what you do with that one is on the bottom, you bring this all the way around and across all the way to the other side, or most of the way to the other side. Push that down, and then you'll notice there's still a little bit of adhesive right here. Go ahead and bend it up. And you do want to burnish this and hold this down really well. I did find on a couple of mine, because I didn't burnish it well at first, they started popping off, so I ended up having to put a little bit of liquid glue in there to get it to hold. But if you burnish it down really well the first time, it gets a really good, strong adherence, and then it doesn't come off later on. And there you go. There's our finished little mug. All ready to add whatever kind of goodies you want. I mean, you could just put a bag of treats in there. You could put, there's all kinds of little things you could fit inside this little mug to gift for Christmas. So I hope you enjoyed this Fun Fold Friday, and I will be back next week, at least with Coco and Crafts. Until then, God's love and blessings to you. Bye.